Mm, number 28. We're now live, guys. Let's start from here. A few words for you. I don't want to lose any time. A few words for you, Matan. You're first.
So hey guys, my name is Matai and I live in Israel. Currently pretty stormy over here, but we'll be optimistic. I was a DBA for a few years, and I switched to work for Madeira SQL Server Services, a consulting company here in Israel. I started actually as an evangelist for the
Okay.
company, speaking and blogging and teaching a lot of that stuff, a lot of fun, and traveling around the world. And now, in addition to it, I also, I started consulting also, and now I'm also the professional manager in the company. So it's pretty busy and pretty fun.
Okay, so should
And
we congratulate you for that?
yeah, you can. It's pretty.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay,
Thanks,
so
guys.
congratulations on that. Okay, so William, a few words for you. Many people have both, probably many people saw you both on the SQL Hangouts, but let's do a one
Yeah, just
sentence
a quick
presentation.
introduction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is William Durkin. Also used to be a DBA and recently changed into consulting. I live in Germany. It's not stormy here today, so the only reason for the internet not working is somebody breaking the wires somewhere on our street. So okay, we can
Oh
go
yeah.
straight into it now.
Yeah, absolutely. In Bulgaria, it's a bit snowy, but I believe everything will be fine. Let's see. So, guys, we decided to fire 2015, right? 2015 with a topic that I believe, as I told you before a moment before we started this, will be very interesting for people. Many, at least from what I know, at least what are my views on this thing is that many people are trying or are at least thinking of switching their roles from DBAs to consulting. However, for one reason or another, they still haven't. They wonder how it is going to be, and we decided to share our experience on this. So, my first and probably logical question to you guys is, what is the difference? What should people expect? What is your opinion? What are you seeing? What's the difference between DBAs and consultants? Willem.
Okay. Well, for me, I swapped to consulting in no, the end of September, so October last year. So I've been doing it now for 3, 4 months.
Yep.
The biggest change for me was the change of the mindset. So as a DBA, you're looking after your own systems. You don't want people breaking them. You want to make sure they're online. Everything's good.
Yep.
And as a consultant, you're very, or at least for me so far, far away from the operational day-to-day running of systems. And
Yes.
I'm now speaking to managers and system architects about how they will plan their IT infrastructure. So obviously I'm a SQL Server consultant, but I'm seeing a lot more system architecture consulting. So not really how to plan to make a database, but how to plan the entire system from front to back.
Yeah, the entire solution. Okay, Matan,
Mhm.
your opinion. Something else? What's the difference?
So actually, it's in many cases it's not that difference because I believe DBAs even inside in the organization perform as consultants also because
Okay.
we sit in a place and a lot of developers come to us and ask us questions and architects come to ask us questions too.
Yep.
So in cases it's not that difference. I think the main difference is that every time you come to a new place, in many circumstances, you have to prove yourself from the beginning. You start from scratch,
Yeah.
and that's the bad part in
Yeah.
consulting.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of. Yeah.
but but I also I agree with William. A lot of times when you get out of the operational role and see a lot of other systems, uh, you get to see things in a different perspective.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah. So I agree completely with Matan. You are an internal consultant as a DBA, right? You are supporting everybody inside your company.
Yep.
What I was trying to say, maybe not quite so clearly, was um, you pushed away from looking at the systems in such detail to be protecting the system, and more providing the same information or advice on a completely different level as well. So for me, I've had to learn very quickly how to change my technical explanation into a management acceptable explanation.
Yeah, so that being said, guys, because you are making a great point. That being said, the change of the language means that the consultants should have or should be ready at least to speak and to communicate a lot a lot better with the business guys. Can you
Definitely.
agree with this?
Yes, completely.
So as a consultant, you are going to be hired, and we are, and many other peoples from this community in our world are hired to probably first speak with the business guys, and not with the developers, not with colleagues which are DBAs or something. We are faced with the business guys first. We hear their requirements, and we should talk a bit in a different way. We should talk not about technology, but how we can solve their problem and what is their problem in general. Yeah.
Correct.
Have you seen something like this till now in your first projects?
Definitely yes. So the part that Matan was talking about, having to prove yourself to the new customer when you're being introduced, was one of the first things that happened for me. Taken to a large customer in Germany and sat down with basically the CIO of a large company, and they were not really directly interested with technical knowledge. It was more, how can I communicate? How do I present myself? What language do I use? Can I speak to him on a correct level?
Yeah.
And once that was cleared up with a short technical presentation, very abstract to a level that he would
very high level. Not we are going to run DBCC every
Correct.
single day, right? No more anyone cares about this. Yeah.
That's right. So at the very high level to talk to the CIO was then enough proof of me as a consultant for them to be happy to work with me. The next meeting is then with the technical people, where you can do the cool technical stuff, right?
Absolutely. Madam, something from your side on this subject?
Yeah, so a lot of times you'll get to work with technical people, but they're not DBAs, or they don't know databases, or they don't like.
One more scenario, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to know how to explain what they're doing wrong and why should they do what you ask them, or what you consult them to do, and they won't always like it, and you won't and you won't always be able to convince them to do what you do, and you have to notice. So you will have to select your walls, if I can say it like that, and you have to know that you won't always win. You have to select your battles.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So can we say that people who are willing and who are probably thinking of switching to consultancy, I believe one of the great things that one of the great advices I read before I jumped to this role was that soft skills, the so-called soft skills, the communication skills, how you even write, right? How you communicate via email, or how you can probably write something down, and presentation skills are all absolutely critical. Now these are really, really critical. Before you jump to the consulting, you are the DBA behind your machine and no one cares, and you don't care. But now when you're in front of the business guys, you should be able to communicate very efficiently. Yeah, absolutely. So something else from your experience till now, what is the difference? What else?
Well, you get to work with a lot more technologies than you used to work in your organization, because organization typically work with a certain set of technologies.
Okay.
Some have a lot of technologies, some have less technologies. But if you work with a lot of organizations, when you consult them, you get to see a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
that's really cool. On one end, you have to learn a lot. On the other end, yeah, it's very cool to see new technologies and see how people use these technologies.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So you should be quick to adapt to this, I believe. You have to be ready to learn a lot of new stuff
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah. I just wrote a blog about things that I learned in 2014, and one of them was learning optimization, I call it. So you have to know how to learn fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
William.
Yeah, totally agree. You see a lot of different things, and a couple of funny anecdotes from my previous jobs where we brought in consultants, and
Yep.
the one that sticks out in my mind every single time was you work as a DBA, you have a plan, and you present the idea in the company and say we need to do this, and everybody just says yeah, it's a cool idea, whatever, and it basically gets ignored
Yeah.
until the problem appears that this proposed solution will solve, but you are not listened to because you are just an employee.
Yes.
Then they say, we're going to get this consultant in who costs however many dollars a day,
Yes, a lot of money
and
probably.
just says the exact same thing. And obviously, as a DBA who's not the consultant, who has had this idea and had been ignored for a long time, it annoys them, right? It pisses you off.
Yep, yep. So can we say that moving to a new role, moving actually to the consulting role, you should expect that your opinion will be a lot more valued in the company that you are working for? Because you are just a consultant, and the business, especially the guys that are hiring you, they really believe in what you are doing. They really accept that your opinion is almost final and it should be like this.
Certainly, you're being paid a lot more money than a normal employee is being paid, so they automatically expect your ideas and your vision to be the right thing, right?
Yeah.
But also, because of that, you can have some resistance from the actual technical people inside a company,
Yeah.
right? So you have to be very careful to come in, and even if you find an entire nightmare of a system, you cannot say this is a nightmare. You have to be very, very careful to not burn people before you've even done any work with them, right?
Okay, so you guys, what are the last projects that you were involved in? William, you were designing some high availability solution, I believe.
That's right, yeah. So a lot of our customers are moving towards the newest versions of SQL Server and using stuff like availability groups and disaster recovery sites, all these cool really
technologies.
cool technologies, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment, is quite a few of these different projects.
Okay, Madan, what are the projects that you are working on
So I just
lately?
started yesterday examining an online gaming system.
Okay.
They wanted us to come and see what they're doing good, what they're doing bad, and their system actually looks pretty good. They have some things
Improve.
to improve, but generally speaking, the system looks good. Something that I told them they can change. They have some place where they use a cursor. Don't kill them. Uh, it's
Okay.
it's a viable solution for this problem. But I show them how they can use the new SQL Server 2012 sum over in order
Okay.
to solve it in a more efficient way. And my previous project was in a company where they wanted to look at column store index 2012 and 2014. So we performed the POC. Some queries started to fly. Some queries actually got worse.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Give
very,
that feedback to Microsoft now.
yeah, it's very interesting. So I'm thinking about some kind of a hybrid solution.
Interesting.
Maybe keeping both tables, both the regular table and the column store table. It looks odd, but let's say in the past you had the table with the raw data, and you
Yep.
had an aggregation table, right? So you can create the aggregated data. So
Yep.
you can look at it like that. So if you look at it like that, it doesn't sound too odd to keep both of the tables. At least that's what I tell anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you both guys, you were involved in a projects that are kind of DBA work, previous DBA work, right? Disaster recovery, high availability, performance tuning. Can a consultant, because in my role, I was engaged my first serious project after some solutions that I just wrote down was actually a BI project. So I did, as the DBA guys like to say, nasty stuff with SharePoint, Excel, and our favorite tools. Very nasty stuff. But can a consultant, when you are trying to move to a consultancy, expect, in your opinion, because companies are different, but in your opinion, can a consultant say, okay, I will do only DBA stuff, but as a consultant, and I don't involve me in any projects that are BI, I don't have any experience, because we just said that we have to learn very quickly. So can we say to the organization or to the company, okay, I'm not doing BI stuff, and I'm not doing development, I'm going to only design solutions, and that's it? What's your opinion on this? I'm just curious.
Martin?
Yeah, fire it up.
It depends, because it always depends.
It depends on what?
Okay, well, let's say you work for a consulting company, and you have, like in our case, let's say 15 consultants.
Yeah.
So my manager needs to be wise about which consultant he sends to which company or to which project. Because if he sends me to a BI project, it's not too smart to do it.
Okay.
And the other way around, of course. But if you work for a consulting company where you are the only consultant, you're independent, or you have 2 or 3 consultants, then it gets more tricky. Yeah. So you might not have the luxury to say no.
Yeah. So I believe every single person who is going to try to move to this consultancy work should, if it's not independent, of course, should first ask what projects he should expect working, because if they told him, oh yeah, we are going to put you only for BI stuff, BI is hot nowadays, so everything is data is huge, big data, stuff like this, we like ours, etc., etc. So obviously, in a move to consultancy, people should ask what they should expect in terms of what projects are they going to be working on, right? Because Madeira obviously is focusing on kind of DBA stuff, or you have also BI guys?
We work more for the DBA stuff, but we also have SSIS project and Hadoop project actually, and even MongoDB in some clients.
Exotic.
So you need to pick the right consultant for the right job.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. William, your opinion? Have you talked with your manager about this?
Yeah, I'm lucky in that the company I'm working in has some quite clearly defined roles. So I am a SQL Server Consultant for like relational and DBA sort of stuff. Okay. They have extra BI consultants who are specialized in BI. However, if the work comes in that we have so much to do that the BI team is too busy, then it's going to get
Overwhelmed.
handed off, right? I mean, they can't just turn business away if the business is there, right? So
Yeah.
I'm now at a point, obviously, as a DBA before, I was learning a lot and trying to keep up to date with all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But as a consultant or contractor, whatever you want to be,
Yeah.
it's even more important to be on the ball and always learning. So it's no longer a 40-hour week job where you can clock in at 8 in the morning and clock out at 5 in the afternoon. You keep having to smash that data or that information into your brain every day. So yeah, my job has changed in that I now have an almost financial reason to be wanting to learn stuff, right? I enjoy learning anyways. I do this anyways, but to learn the things on the edge of my comfort zone. So the moving back towards SSAS and SSIS, and even like Martin has said, maybe look at some stuff with Hadoop or MongoDB or whatever, because these things will turn up.
Yeah, absolutely. They will, and we should be ready, which is a huge challenge, by the way.
You don't need to be an expert. I mean, we are all definitely SQL Server focused, but it does not mean that you have to now go and learn MongoDB to the same level. But to be able to converse with a company who uses MongoDB and help them with their architecture decisions on that, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So the DBAs are many times. I don't know for you, but I have been waken up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That's my favorite, right? So, so can a consultant expect that the so-called on-call shift will continue, in your opinion? Because I switched to one of the main reasons why I switched to consultancy was because I didn't want to be waken up at 4 a.m. anymore.
I think it depends on the company, right? Some companies do consulting, but also have these 24/7 customers that they're supporting. So you may switch out of being a DBA and still have a call rotation.
Okay,
that's something that can happen, right? I'm lucky at the moment. I'm not in that yet, but it can happen.
Martin was about to say something.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting, William. Because a lot of companies that take consultancy companies don't have a DBA. So need that 24/7 support, like William said. So those are the cases where you will be waking up at 3 to 5 in the morning.
Okay, but most of the companies that offer, I don't know what's your opinion, but most of the companies that offer consulting, in your opinion, in your experience, do they have operations team which is responsible for the support stuff or not? Or the consultants are actually the people that are expected to be working during the night in some emergencies?
I believe most of the time it will be the consultants.
Okay.
Some companies hold some kind of routine where you get a call once in 2 weeks or something like that. But I think that in most cases it depends on which client you support. So if you're the DBA of the client, then you will be waking up, and of course you will be paid when you are waking up.
Yeah. Okay. So, boy, I'm lucky that I am not going to be awake. Okay. So, William.
It's something to consider, definitely. If you're going to move, even to move to a different company, you have to find these things out. But it's something that consulting companies starting to do a lot more is get these retainers, right? It's very easy to say, okay, we will offer support during office hours or extended, maybe not 24-hour support, but maybe from 6 in the morning until 11 at night or something. Then these times need covered, but also the company is getting a retainer every month, which is helping to pay for a consultant to be employed at a consultancy company.
Yes, that makes sense, absolutely. Okay, so what do we have till now? We have soft skills as a huge requirement for consultants. We have an ongoing learning experience, which will be fun. And as Matan said, what was the word for you Smart learning, or what was it?
Learning optimization.
Learning optimization. Okay, so we
Invented it yesterday. So
yeah, okay. You have to coin this term, I believe. I don't know for you, but I think you have to just do some patent work on this. But yeah, so quick learning new stuff. You should not be afraid of learning new stuff. Soft skills still as good as possible.
Yep.
A lot of technologies in the field, a lot of new stuff that the consultant will probably see because you are in a lot of shops. What else? Something else, or should we? Something else on top of your head?
well, I think you should know that even though we said you need to know how to communicate and soft skills and all of that stuff, you need to be prepared. First of all, it's okay to say I don't know,
Yes. Okay.
and it depends how you say that I don't know. If you say I don't know, let me check that for you and get back to you. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know. You know, it's about
Yeah.
body language, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's a bit more advanced now. Okay, so body language for everyone to Google.
Yeah.
We'll go out later or Bing later. Okay. Something else?
So it's okay to say I don't know and be prepared to fail because not every day will be your best day. You need to know and you need to know that it's okay and not to always win and
Yeah.
not to always convince your customer. No,
Very
that's
good advice.
okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
definitely.
And you will get better. You will get better over time.
Yeah, very good advice. William, something to add here because I have one more point.
I can only agree with Matt on the be prepared to fail thing. Like I say, you're coming as the highly paid expert who's supposed to solve all of the troubles for the customer. And just because you've switched jobs and you are now titled a consultant or
Yep.
expert or whatever, does not make you a superhero all of a sudden. You are also still just a human. You will make
Yes.
mistakes.
Yeah,
But also just be an adult about it. If you make a mistake, own up to it and learn from it, right?
yeah, and don't forget that our community is probably, I would just say it, our community is the best one, so many people are willing to help absolutely for free on Twitter, Google Plus, blogs, conference websites, etc., etc. So you can always find a place where you can ask such questions. One last one, guys. I have seen, and I was about to fail really badly in this first BI project because of something that was not that clear to me in the first during my first consultancy work, and it was this understanding. I mean, really understanding the business requirements of this project, of the project that you are going to work. I mean, really, completely understanding what are the requirements. What's your feedback on this? Because my case, I can see that you are afraid to speak a bit. My case, joking. My case is that during the BI stuff, and because we talk about new technologies, many technologies, the BI analyst showed me his Excel. So he opened Excel and he had a new tab which I haven't seen before, and he opened something which was called Hyperion something, I don't remember, but that's Oracle stuff. And he showed me, take a look at how we do it in Oracle. And he showed me how he analyzes the data with the help of Oracle, Hyperion, whatever. And he said, we want this now. We want this in SQL Server. Can we do this with analysis services cubes? And I was like, what exactly do you want? And from there, everything went very, very, very badly. I believe it's my fault because I didn't ask the right questions. But what's your opinion on this, about the requirements of a project?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Why can it be a hard one in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's a hard one because you just sit beside someone that deals with it day to day, let's say for a few years, and he expects you to understand something
Yeah,
that is
like
important for a few, is
boom.
like, yeah, in just a few seconds, and
Yeah,
it's impossible. Uh, Now the question is how to communicate it. I'm trying to think on the fly. William,
yeah,
do you have an
yeah.
approach?
It was extremely interesting situation because I was for first time I was like with some the BI analyst, just a bit technical guy, and the data warehouse developer and architect. By the way, they were using Teradata as a source, so it gets even more interesting. And they were like, yes, we have this hierarchy, and it's take a look at how simple it is. You can nest, you can do that, and I'm like, okay, I believe that's not possible in SQL Server, but anyway, tell me more. And I believe my fault was that I didn't ask the right questions, because later on we figured it out very easily, by the way. But when the question was put on the table, everything just became so easy. However, you should be ready to ask a lot of questions, I believe, and you should be really careful what questions exactly do you ask, because they have to be the right ones. Otherwise, the project may go in a completely different direction.
Yeah, the difficulty there again is this whole idea of you are a highly paid expert, so you should immediately understand what my problem is and be able to solve it.
Yep.
And mostly it's easier when you've worked in a certain branch of business. So if you know retail, then it's very easy to speak to retail-minded people about
Okay,
stuff
yeah.
because you have the same mindset. But if, as a consultant, you're jumping from different areas of the world, right, in terms of business, you're going from retail to banking to manufacturing or whatever, then it's already a language barrier. Even if it's all in your own mother tongue, it's a completely different concept, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
then you have to try and break down those misunderstandings. And
Yeah,
I think the best way to do that is to explain exactly what you have understood and how you have understood it. So maybe
yeah,
a meeting would normally take an hour, might take 2 hours, but
yeah,
that extra hour is so important to make sure you said blue and my understanding was purple. Is
yeah,
this right?
yeah.
And to really break down that misunderstanding so that you don't go down the wrong path, right?
Yeah, and one last thing before we sum this up. Have you been in a situation in which, because that's a bit different in the consultancy, I believe, have you been in the situation in which many people from the company that you are working for at the moment, and including, for example, in my opinion, the CFO, are in the room and they ask you to do something on the fly immediately? They expect to see it absolutely immediately, which is not already done. But they just have an idea and they're like, can we do that? Please show me. And you know that you don't have 1 hour to develop this. You have to just do it really quick. Otherwise, they're going to be disappointed. Have you been in a case like this? Because I've seen this and it was quite an interesting experience for me.
I didn't. I wasn't in such a situation. I think you should explain them that it won't be the right way to do it on the fly. That you
Okay.
need to develop something that will be good enough, and for that you need more time. I think you need to explain them that it won't be good for them if you develop it
Now.
now. That's right.
Okay. Okay. So, William, have you been in one like this, or still
No,
not?
no, not yet. Luckily,
Not yet.
but I would go the same route as Martin to just say, okay, we can whiteboard the idea, drop down some ideas on a whiteboard and discuss it. But I would never get into the idea of let's code this thing live in front of everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Were
just
you
going to be a waste of time.
were
Madam,
you
we didn't hear you.
were you in such a situation, boys?
Yep.
So what did you do?
There were so many of those. Can we do that? And can we do this? But for some of them, I was like exactly like this. I'm like, yes, it is possible, but we should spend a bit of time thinking how we can do this, because it's not like, yeah, drag and drop this here, right? It's not that quick. However, for some of the things which were quite simple, I'm like, okay, let's try it now and let's see what's going to happen. So if you are able to do it for 30 seconds, then fine. But if there is something, a request, and you as a consultant should know that something will take you more than 30 seconds, then you should just say, okay, I know what you mean, or let me figure out what you mean exactly, and let's discuss it afterwards, or we will need a bit more time. Yeah, interesting cases. Anyway, so guys, 30 minutes almost ended very quickly, by the way. Very interesting discussion. I believe we should continue it some other time. So, Matan, and a few last words. I always ask the people that are joining me, where can people see you? Because obviously you are both guys speakers, you speak a lot, you train people. Where can people find more about you? What are you planning for 2015?
Okay, so you can find me on, first of all, on my podcast, SQL Server Radio, on sqlserverradio.com. And I have a blog on madeirasql.com, and I plan a lot of webinars in 2015 and a few conferences.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm waiting for the email from SQL Bits to see if I got in.
Okay. Everyone waits for that one.
Yeah, but I hope to have a few conferences abroad and see you guys there also.
Okay. William, what's on your schedule?
Well, this year I've got to do some certificates. I need to get my SQL Server certificates arranged, so that'll be fun. I'm going to be speaking at a few conferences. I'm going to be doing my, hopefully I'm going to do bits. I don't know. I've submitted as well, waiting for the confirmation, or possibly, most probably the mail saying, sorry, not this time.
Yeah.
My next conference is actually in Germany, SQL Conference in Darmstadt.
Yeah.
So that will be in 5 weeks.
Less.
4 weeks?
Less,
I don't know.
I believe, yeah. Less.
But
okay,
we'll see
guys.
each other then.
Yeah, I'll also be there and speak there. But you know that when I blog about this Hangout, I'll also put your blogs there and your Twitter handles, so people can interact more with you, ask you a bit more, a lot of other questions they have. I hope that you don't mind.
No. Ask away.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much for being with me on this number 28, and I hope to see you soon. What else can I say?
Thank you for having us.
In person, boys.
Yeah, I believe it's final time. It's
it will happen.
Yeah, I believe it's high time for us to meet in person. Yeah, definitely. Okay, guys. So leaving you here. Thank you very much again, and see you soon.
Thanks, guys. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.